The mysterious events that take place at St Mary's Church, Danedyke, Lancashire, begin late one Sunday evening after New Year, when Mary Crowe, church organist, village schoolmistress, and spinster of the parish of Danedyke, discovers an intruder in the church and finds herself on the wrong end of a physical assault. Septimus Treloar, rector of St Mary's and an ex-police detective inspector, is puzzled by the appearance of a suspicious figure in the church. And then, later that day, Septimus is attacked by two strangers, Armchair and the Major, in the relic chapel at St Mary's.
Must be slipping, Sir Roger, old son. You should have counted on there being two of them. Now they've both got away. We still don't know what it is they're after.
And now you see how fortunate we are to have the Danedyke Cup in our very own church, in our very own village. So we really shouldn't pick our nose in front of it, should we, Simon? Yes, Russell?
How much is it worth, miss?
Well, not a great deal. That particular one, that's just a copy of the one that's kept in a big strongbox in the back. And now, children, in addition to being called the Danedyke Cup, it's also got another name. Can anyone tell me what it is?
Our Lady's Cup, miss!
Oh, no, not all at once. Yes, Ashley.
Our Lady's Cup, miss.
Yes, and why is it called Our Lady's Cup, do you know?
Please, miss, because Jesus' mother drank out of it, miss.
Ah, very good, Ashley. And does anyone know how it came to be here? Yes, Emma Jane.
Because there used to be a Catholic monastery here, Miss Crowe, ever so long ago.
That's right. Yes, Patricia.
Please, miss, what did Our Lady drink out of it, miss?
Well, I don't think legend tells us that, but it's an interesting point. Has any of you any ideas? What might Our Lady have drunk out of her cup?
Water, Miss Crowe.
Yes.
Wine, Miss Crowe.
Yes, it could have been water or it could have been wine. Anything else?
Coke, miss.
Not Coke, Russell, no. In the first place, Coke hadn't been invented at the time. In the second place, Coke would not have been very good for Our Lady's teeth. Yes, Patricia.
Please, Miss Crowe, if it had been water, Jesus could have turned it into wine, couldn't he, miss?
He could indeed, Patricia.
He could have turned it into Coke if he felt like it.
Ah, Sir James.
Morning, Rector.
I didn't know you were back from abroad. How did the holiday go?
Well, would you believe that 3 weeks of lying on a sun-drenched beach, gazing at the Caribbean, and every second of that time I had this funny feeling at the back of my mind there was something frightfully important I was missing back here.
Did it come to you what it was?
Not until the very moment I set foot on solid tarmac at Heathrow. And then it hit me. The church parochial council meeting, of course. I haven't missed it, have I? I mean, you can't have a meeting without the treasurer.
No, let me put your mind at ease, Sir James. First Monday of next month. You've still got a couple of weeks to go.
A whole fortnight? I don't think I can wait that long.
Try not to think about it. You'd be amazed at how quickly a fortnight can pass.
Something else I wanted to word about, Rector. It's come to my ears that you were set upon in the relic chapel last night by rogues and thieves and vagabonds.
In common parlance, Sir James, duffed up by a couple of small-time heavies.
Any idea who they are or what they were after?
Not at the moment, no, but I hope to soon. One of them, anyway.
Oh?
He was good enough to leave me a set of his fingerprints behind. One of my old associates at Liverpool, Nick, is having them checked out, so if the fella has got any previous form, we'll be able to put a name to him, if nothing else.
Well, I've always said that having an ex-policeman in the rectory would come in useful sooner or later.
Thank you so much, Sir James. Well, if the lads at Liverpool Central do come up with anything, I'll keep you posted.
Yes, I should hope you would. I take a great personal interest in the relic chapel. One of my celebrated ancestors is entombed there.
Yes, I do know that, Sir James.
Yes. Well, if there are to be any shenanigans around Sir Roger Carruthers' tomb, I do feel that I ought to be kept informed. See you in church, Rector.
Thank you, Charles. And what have you got to tempt me with today?
Ham salad, chicken salad, cold roast beef.
Anything hot on the menu?
Only my missus.
Yeah.
Have a nice steak pie.
That'll do me.
Steak pie, Doris.
Charles,
Sir.
many strangers been in of late?
Odd cowboy from Liverpool. Why are you thinking of this pair of Herberts that have been leading you the tat up the church?
Had crossed my mind.
What does it look like?
Big fellow, one of them. The other one fancies himself as a military type, though he looks more like a defrocked bookmaker. Little moustache, camel hair coat, flower in his buttonhole.
Hang about. There was a fella like that in here about a week ago.
Yeah?
Drove a jag. Asking all sorts of questions about the church.
Was he? Anything else you can remember?
Yes, when I told him you were ex-CID, he shut up like a clam. It was before you had the bother, though. I never gave it a second thought.
No, that's not your fault, Charles. No reason why I should at the time. Okay, thanks.
If he shows his face in here again, I'll be straight on the blower.
Yeah, I would be grateful, Charles. Can't see it happening, though.
Hey, steady on. I'm 2 chocks down. No helping. Cheers, pal. 3 in a row. What do you want?
No, nothing, thanks. 2 shandies at lunchtime blow me up. I'll treat you.
I won't say no if you're paying. I'll have half in it.
Septimus.
No.
Any news as yet on the villains that stuck one on you?
No. Arrests, as they say, are not pending. Tom, who's the expert on the cup around here?
FA or Rugby League?
The Danedyke Cup, Our Ladies' Cup.
Dr. Simmons, no question. He's your local history buff. Why?
Just a thought.
Service with a smile. And salad and chips.
I ordered steak pie. Charles!
It's greenstuffs.
Yes, it does have that distinction, armchair. It's a salad.
Well, I don't have greenstuffs. I never have done.
Well, if you were expecting to be provided with a pucker cordon bleu 5-star table d'hote menu aboard this minuscule cabin cruiser, armchair, you've got another thing coming.
I should have done, Trelaw. I should really have fitted him up proper. Put him in dock for a month or so. Couple of broken ribs and a fractured dog collar.
Now, what for?
Because I owe him, that's why. And besides, it would have given us a chance to get on with the job.
Oh, yes. And brought the CID from the entire north of England poking their long proboscises in.
Why do we have to put up with all this for?
It's only for a short time. And because principally, armchair, at the end of the day, you and I are going to come out of this little operation a good deal richer than when we went in. I take it that your aversion to greenstuffs would not deter you from pocketing several thousand £1 notes.
Yeah, well, I still don't see why we got to put up with this. I mean, this is worse than a nick, is this? I don't see why he couldn't have put us up in a posh hotel, his nibs. If he's as loaded as you say he is.
No, he's loaded, armchair. Beyond the dreams of avarice.
Yeah, well, if he's that loaded, he could have got us a suit at the Adelphi, couldn't he?
Well, he could have hired the mass bands of the Welsh Guards and the Hong Kong police had he so desired, and announced our arrival in the district with a ceremonial full-dress parade around Liverpool. But it would hardly have done our cause any good. We are travelling incognito.
In what?
Each of greens, armchair.
I don't feel like eating. Oh, I hate boats. I get seasick.
Nobody gets seasick, armchair, on a canal.
This won't do at all, you know. I expected to find you tucked up in bed.
I'm terribly sorry, Henry. Didn't your missus explain? I didn't call you for a professional visit. It's a private matter. I was going to come and see you.
No worry. I'm only pleased to find you on your feet. Far too many bugs about at the moment, far too many patients. I was in the area anyway. I've been giving Mary Crowell a final checkup.
Is her back all right now?
Oh, she's as tough as old boots. What's your problem?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about the Danedyke Cup.
Is it to do with this business of the attempted burglary?
Possibly.
Who is this thug who's been knocking Mary about, Septimus? I don't approve. She's far too valuable in this village as our Mary. And they're saying in the post office, 2 heavies had a go at you. I really can't make head nor tail of it.
How much time have you got?
Well, I've got a clinic at Southport at 4:30, pregnant mums. I can give you a good half an hour.
Oh, well, that'll do for starters. Now, I want you to tell me about the cup. Not this copy we've got in here, and not the legends, but the facts. The real, basic, hallmarked facts in simple language, understandable to a hedge priest.
And you reckon they're relevant to Mary Crowell?
Just an ex-copper's hunch, but I think they could be.
There was a cup, you know. Not that silver gilt fake you've got stuck away in the bank worth a mere £1,000 or so. That's almost certainly a copy of a much earlier cup.
What?
Solid gold, dating right back to the times of Christ, so the story goes. Hence the original name for it, Our Lady's Cup.
What happened to it?
We know it belonged to the monastery here. And if your history's any good, you'll know Henry VIII suppressed the monasteries and confiscated their lands and possessions. Now, I'd hazard a guess, and it is only a guess, mind, the monks saw what was coming and hid the real Danedyke Cup and had the silver gilt one made in its place.
Then the real one could still exist?
Well, it hasn't been seen for 400 years.
Yes, but it could.
Could. All things are possible, but some not very likely, as the apostle should have said, but didn't. Our chum here, Sir Roger Carruthers, Sir James's ancestor, pinched the cup you've got when the monastery was suppressed.
That's probably what the old poem refers to. Our gay lady's bright cup beneath Danedyke roof. That'd be the original cup, the gold one, is all faded and wan since the beast is come. Henry VIII. Any more facts?
We know Sir Roger pinched the cup, the silver gilt one. We know that he turned the relic chapel into a family vault. And we also know that John was the last abbot of the monastery here.
Wait a minute. This Carruthers got the cup that's now in the bank vault. Why didn't he get the original if there really was one?
Well, who knows? It's all buried in the mists of time. You see, the monks were a tightly knit community, so probably he knew nothing about it. Anyway, he died soon afterwards, and the Abbot John was left here in the monastery alone for a couple of years.
Sad sort of life, living alone in a ruined monastery.
Oh, tragic, really. There'd been a community here for over 500 years. All those abbots, imagine it. You're the last of the breed. Wandering about in the empty cloisters, watching the birds nesting in the shell of the windows, listening to the rain dripping through the roof. Of course, they slung him out too in the end.
Poor old Abbot John. Here, I'm a poor sort of host, Henry. Come on over to the rectory and let me give you a cup of coffee at least before you go.
Okay.
So, what happened to Abbot John after they booted him out of the monastery?
Well, it seems he stayed on in the village. Not surprising, really, when you think what communications were like and that he didn't have 2 farthings to rub together.
And how did he manage to scratch a living?
Exactly that. He scratched a living with a quill pen. Apparently, he was a first-rate artist. He spent most of his time illuminating the Gospels. But he also did a Chaucer, which is in the British Museum, and an Ariosto that's in the Bodleian. His Mallory has gone to America, more's the pity, but his Gospels were the most famous. Dugdale called them the Abbot John's glorious Gospels. I'd love to have seen them, but sadly they're lost.
And do we know what happened to him in the finish?
We do, as a matter of fact. He was found dead in the relic chapel. I suppose he'd gone there to die. After all, the Danedyke Cup had been his whole life.
Didn't I read something somewhere about a will that he left?
There was a will, yes. He left what little he had to the poor of Danedyke. With one exception.
What was that?
His Gospels. He left those to Abbey Hall, St Silas's College, as now is.
But I thought you said they were lost. What happened to them?
Well, Dugdale said he saw them in the Bodleian.
When was that?
17th century. But no one set eyes on them since.
Yeah, and that's where the hard facts finish, is it? And all the rest's just headless horsemen and hearses in the night.
Very nearly. Apart from the Abbot John's tombstone.
Ah, yes, I know about that. In the church on the north wall by the door.
Yes, but have you studied it?
Not closely, I must admit.
No, you should. It's well worth the trouble. It's neatly carved and it's literate, which is more than you can say for the usual 16th century village effort. Take a close look at it, Septimus. You'll find some inscriptions on that stone that don't altogether add up. My God.
What's the matter?
Well, look at the time. All those pregnant mums.
Are you absolutely sure you've looked everywhere, Russell?
Yes, Miss Horton, these are the only ones that are left.
Lost something.
Russell's been landed with 2 left Wellington boots.
Afternoon, Russell.
Hello.
I think Ashley Truman's waltzed off home in 2 right ones. Can you walk in them? Well, it's dry outside now. Why don't you go home in your pumps, Russell? Leave your Wellingtons here, and we'll sort out who's got your other welly tomorrow. All right? Come here. What's your problem?
They not.
No?
Starts for 10.
All right.
The story so far. Attractive, intelligent infant teacher Angela Horton has agreed to marry handsome, fun-loving car mechanic Tom Richards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. 2 weeks before the date of their proposed wedding, Angela asked Tom to pick her up after school, drive her into Southport, in order to visit a department store, choose some non-stick kitchenware.
Oh, Tom.
Forgotten?
Completely. Well, that's you seen to, young man. Good afternoon to you, too. I am sorry. It's been one of those days. Anna Marie Maplebeck dropped her new Snoopy wristwatch down the loo. Gary Clarkson tripped and fell and was stricken with a severe nosebleed. Mary's taken him home. I promised her I'd do the flowers. Can we skip Southport? Do you mind?
Suits me.
What are you doing? Spring cleaning or looking for woodworm?
Oh, I was praying for someone to come through that door, actually. There's a notepad and a ball pen over there. Do me a favour and be my temporary secretary, would you?
Put me out of my misery. Tell me what it's all in aid of.
Oh, I'm not sure I know myself, actually. Something Henry Simmons put me onto. Said that Abbot John's tombstone would be worth a close inspection, eh? Wasn't far out in his diagnosis.
It's Latin, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what's so odd. The main text's in Latin, all this guff in the middle about being a pious and worthy man, ever a friend to the poor, and the dates of his birth and his death, etc. But these 4 scrolls in the corners, they're in Greek.
Is that significant?
It's unusual, odd. Almost as if the fellow who carved this blessed thing didn't want anybody to read them.
It's not a secret message, is it?
Eh?
You know, 20 paces to the north, 19 paces to the west, X marks the buried treasure type of thing.
That could be.
Oh, we're not going to have to dig up the organ loft, are we? Mary Kroll would do her nut.
No, nothing so exciting, I'm afraid. They seem to be Bible references. Yeah, that's Luke, chapter 19, verse 41.
Do you want me to write that down?
Yes, please. And, yes, Mark, chapter 11, verse 17. Yes, John, chapter 11, verse 43. Oh, yeah, this one's really worn away. I can hardly make it out, but it's got to be Matthew. Matthew, chapter 24, I think it is, yeah. Verse 15. Yeah, hang on a minute. curiouser and curiouser, said Alice.
What's that?
I'm not the first. Someone else has been up here of late, trying to make this lot out. Yeah, been scratching away at the lettering with a penknife or something.
Something to do with the men who broke in here, do you think?
Yeah, probably. Well, let's get these references sorted out, shall we?
And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." And that's the lot.
They don't make any sense.
You read them all out.
And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it.
Luke's account of Jesus weeping over Jerusalem.
And he taught, saying unto them, Is it not written, My house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves?
Mark's version of Jesus throwing the money changers out of the temple.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Matthew on the destruction of Jerusalem.
And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice,
Lazarus, come forth. And that's the odd one out. 3 texts about destruction and 1 about the raising of the dead.
But why would he want all that put on his tombstone?
There's only one person who could answer that question, Angie, love. The Abbot John. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But consider this for starters. Now, he was thrown out of the monastery during the Reformation, and he probably stood out there somewhere, looking across at Danedyke, watching them rip off, brick by brick, his home and his church. Now, I reckon that's what the texts about destruction are doing up there.
And the bit about Lazarus?
I don't know. I wonder if he cracked it.
Who? The Abbot John?
No. The fellow who got up there before we did.
The telly would have been favourite. We could have had the racing in the afternoons. Radio's not bad, though. When I was in the Nick, we used to listen to recipes by Jimmy Young. He don't go strong on green stuffs neither.
I'm not installing this instrument for your personal delectation, Armchair. This is a high-powered transmitter receiver.
Handsome. I'll be able to radio my bets to the betting shop.
I'll thank you to keep your grubby paws well clear of this machine. It's to be used strictly for communication between the CEO and myself.
Well, that's a bit strong, isn't it? I mean, why can't you give him a tinkle on the blower?
Considering, Armchair, that our esteemed employer has not even seen fit to reveal his identity, it hardly seems likely that he would furnish us with his telephone number.
Fanning about. Long-wave transmitters, binoculars. I told you, we're going to finish this job double quick if you'd let me put the frighteners on that vicar. I'd have broken both his arms for him.
And I've told you that you will curb your personal animosity toward the Padre, at least until our present term of employment ends. Now, is that clear?
What happens then?
We shall pursue our separate paths, Armchair. I shall seek out my erstwhile colleagues in the Champagne Bar at Ascot, whilst you, no doubt, will rejoin your nefarious associates in some betting shop. And what you do with the Padre in your own time, Armchair, is no concern of mine.
Message received and understood, Major. Only supposing I can't wait that long.
I am Drew of the Queen.